Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Happy Tuesday, guys. Carmine Bianco here from WagerTalk.com with another edition of Stoppage Time. This is the World Cup qualifying edition. It's the international break and the final games over the course of the next 6 or 7 days for qualifying, not only in Europe but in a lot of the other countries as well too. We are going to cover 4 games on today's card. In Europe, South America, and Central America, 4 big games: Greece and Spain, Uruguay, Argentina, Italy, Switzerland to decide that group. And of course, back here in North America, we're going to cover the USA as they take on Mexico. Joining me from WagerTalk.com, Nick Borrman and Kevin Dolan. And from SportsMemo, it's Pavlos Laguretos. Pavlos, I'll go to you first, my friend. How are things going for you over at SportsMemo and the last week in soccer?
Doing great. Last week was pretty much even. I had a losing day on Friday, but I won both on Saturday and Sunday. I've been doing a pretty great job with 5 and 10% soccer bets. I'm on a 10-1 run since August 29, plus 74 bankroll gain, 24-6 in all soccer sides, plus 89.3 bankroll gain. So we're going great with these soccer sides, and I have a 5% soccer side bet for Thursday's matches in the World Cup qualifiers.
All right. That's what I like to hear. A lot of action coming up while the next couple of days are slow. It's really going to pick up on Thursday with a ton of games. Nick Borrman, I'm glad you finally got your Wi-Fi up and working. I know that there's been an outage out in your area. It's affecting a lot of us on the shows this morning, but how are things right now?
Yeah. I'm back. Sorry, that was my joke. Things are good. I on a good soccer run right now. The last 3 weeks netted 35% bankroll. MLS just ended. Really killed it the second half of the MLS season at 54% in bankroll gain since the middle of July. So happy with that. Rolling into the playoffs, which start right after the international break, and even tennis, which is Kevin's favorite. Up 62% since June. So really been doing well across the board, and hopefully we can continue that into the international break this week.
That's what I like to hear. For a second there, I thought I was on puck time with Don Buster with that Wi-Fi problem of yours, but all good. I appreciate it. And a place where there is no problems with Wi-Fi because it's just all nice, clean air. Kevin Dolan, live from Ireland. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, Carmen. Although now you'd be surprised. It's gone down a few times, so I'm presuming that's tongue in cheek. But yeah, doing all right. Split day Sunday in soccer, went 1-1-1. Split night for us last night as well. Had a 4% winner on the Bears plus the points over in the NFL, but dropped the 5% play on the Heat in the NBA. So looking to get back in the saddle regards those. And apart from that, all good really. Looking forward to this week. Obviously, Ireland demolishing Portugal on Thursday. Get some revenge on Cristiano. So, yeah, all good and, ready to break down some soccer.
Good. This is what I like to hear. And before we get to that first game, I just want to remind you guys, it is Tuesday. So, of course, it is $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk and SportsMemo. $2 Tuesday is where you can get a featured cappers play for only $2. These are plays that normally sell for $25 and $35. Along with those plays in the analysis section are some great promos. Over at WagerTalk, the $2 capper this week is Ralph Michaels. Ralph, he puts out just some fantastic content each and every year for college football season, college basketball season, and he has a college basketball opener as his $2 play. So you can get that over at WagerTalk. And at SportsMemo, John Ryan, this guy just continues to win week in and week out. A very big ROI if you were a follower of his. So you can pick up his play over at SportsMemo for only $2. So do that, and we'll discuss it again at the end of the show, along with a promo for the 4 guys on this show today. But let's look at the first game. Greece and Spain, the odds are up on the board there. Greece plus 735, the draw plus 330, Spain minus 220. I'll briefly look at this game and then I'll send it over to my favorite Irishman. Well, listen, Group B is up for grabs here. It's an interesting one with 2 games left. Sweden is atop the group, and they will play Spain on the final match day in Spain. Top spot gets an automatic berth. That second spot obviously gets you into the playoff. Nobody wants to play that playoff. We saw what happened a few years ago with Italy having to play Sweden in a 2-game playoff and losing and missing the World Cup for the first time in absolute ages. So nobody wants that second spot. You want that qualifier. And this is what the position Spain's in. Win this game against Greece and then win at home against Sweden, and they're off to the World Cup. This team has been great since the start of the summer. These teams played on match day 1. That game finished back in March, 1-1 in Spain. That was the first game for Spain in 4+ months. Obviously, a lot of the teams off because of the COVID break and such. But 77% possession in that game, and the Greece's only goal came on their only attempt, which was a penalty kick. I have to think that Spain is in the driver's seat here. They've had a fantastic summer, losing in the semifinals of the Euros to Italy in penalty kicks, making it to the finals of the Nations League, losing to France late in that one. But it's been this team is built. They have throughout the summer, they have a wealth of talent on that team. They're just going to continue to get better and should be one of the favorites to win the World Cup next year in Qatar. So this is a team to look for. As far as Greece goes, I look at it this way, Kev, this is a team that can't play defensive in this game. Normally, they're a very good team at absorbing pressure. That's something you can't do here. They've got to win both games to give themselves a chance at just second spot here. Maybe open it up a little bit. That's not in their style. That's not how they play. But this is one of those games where I think if Spain get ahead early, this is a 2 or 3-0 scoreline for Spain. So there's only one way to go here, which is Spain. Your thoughts, Kev?
Well, I definitely say you're more bullish on the Spanish team than I am. I do have my reservations. I've said on the show before, I don't like Luis Enrique. Sure, he's a lovely guy, but just his managerial style. And I just couldn't lay -1.25 goals here in this spot with Spain, just because they're so unpredictable. I mean, they're known to lay eggs in these kind of international matches, and especially now we know this is a kind of must win for them if they want to finish top of the group as well. So, you mentioned that reverse fixture against Greece. Greece were poor in that game, obviously, but Spain haven't covered this kind of line against Greece in a pre-tournament setting. I believe you have to go all the way back to 2002. So you're talking almost 20 years. So it is a big number here. And I have to steer clear of the Spanish because of it. You did mention, though, however, that I'm not in any rush to back Greece here, in this spot either, because, they do have injury concerns. And as you said as well, plus the fact they need to win here to have any chance of finishing second in the group. So, at some point in this game, they're going to have to try and force themselves on the Spanish, try and open them up. And that, as a result, as you said, could, that leaves them very vulnerable to that Spanish attack and front three. So I'm going to swerve the match line here. I actually lean under in the game. Both of these teams rank top 2 in the group in overall possession per game. Defensively, Spain allow the fewest shots per game in the group at just 4.5 per game on average. Greece average the highest number of tackles. So I don't see this being a particularly open game. I think even though Greece need a result here, they'll know that their best chance of getting a positive result in this game is to try and grind one out, as opposed to taking on Spain in an offensive shootout. So I think we see, 1, maybe 2 goals in this game is the likeliest scenario, in my opinion. And I think at -138 or thereabouts for the under 2.5, that's likely the way I'm going to play this one. So, yeah, under 2.5 for me on Thursday between Greece and Spain.
All right, perfect. 2-0 Spain makes us both happy there, Kevin. But I get it. And it's one of those things is they're not a team built to play that type of game. But if they try and open it up even a little bit as we get into, the final 60 minutes of the game, if the first 30 minutes of that game is tight, that counterattack of Spain is going to punish them. I just have to believe it's going to happen. These group stage games, in the World Cup, the match day 1s and 2s and 3s are normally tight games. As teams start to get eliminated, those match day, 6 and 7 and 8s, you see some crooked score lines. And I think this could be one where we see one here. Anyways, let's move on to the second game. Pavlos and Nick are going to look at this one. We're going to head to South America for this one. Uruguay and Argentina. We'll have a quick look at the numbers here. Uruguay at home, plus 215 as an underdog. The draw is plus 210. Argentina, plus 151 here. You look at these teams, top 4 in this group, automatic bye into the World Cup. The 5th place team will play a promotion game, which is a 2-game home and away, and Uruguay sit in that spot right now in 5th, while Argentina sit in 2nd place behind the unbeaten Brazil team. Argentina 7 wins, 4 draws through 11 games. Nick, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Give me your thoughts.
I think the price is right here to jump on Argentina on the 3-way money line, but full disclosure, there is a decent chance Messi may not play in this game. He is dealing with a knee injury. Wasn't enough to leave him off the roster, the call-up roster, though, so he is part of the team during this international break. So maybe he does play in this one, maybe he doesn't, maybe he gets some minutes, not all, not really sure, but I just wanted to put that out there. But even if he does miss time, I really like Dybala to fill in his shoes alongside Martinez from Inter Milan. And really, Argentina have that nice next wave of talent ready to take over for their aging stars like Messi and Di Maria, where you kind of look at Uruguay and I don't really see that next wave coming for them. I mean, you got Suarez and Cavani who've been up front for them for years, and I just don't see that next wave. But anyway, if Messi does miss some time here, I think they're okay. But I did want to mention that. But I mean, you go back to the summer with Argentina when they won the Copa America, and they've just been playing great for quite some time now. They followed up that Copa America. They've got 4 wins and a draw in their 5 World Cup qualifiers so far during these 2 fall international breaks. They kept 4 clean sheets. They allowed just 1 single goal, and they beat Uruguay 3-0 at home during the break as well. In that game, Argentina were pretty dominant. I mean, they took 23 shots with 10 on goal compared to just 10 shots and 6 on goal for Uruguay. And they also beat Uruguay in the Copa America tournament 1-0. Much different game in terms of volume, but still dominated by the Argentina side, who were able to generate 9 shots with 6 on goal compared to just 4 shots for Uruguay the entire game and not 1 on target. So, Uruguay, they followed up that 0-3 loss to Argentina during the last international break, and then they lost 1-4 against Brazil. It just to me shows that they're a level off from those top 2 teams in South America. In fact, they've lost 4 straight games now between Brazil and Argentina. So at the end of the day, I think we're getting a good price on the better team, and Argentina's defense more so than their offense is just playing very, very, very well. So I like the plus 145 price right now. You can get at Argentina, and that's the way I recommend playing this one.
All right, that is Nick Borrman of WagerTalk.com with his take on the Argentina-Uruguay game. And I have to tend to agree with you. Messi is with the team in light training with Paredes as well, too. We'll see what kind of action he gets, whether he starts or just starts from the bench. Pavlos, your take on this one?
Well, I was reading the news yesterday and the day about Messi. There is some, weird stuff coming from PSG's director. He was kind of upset about Messi's involvement with the national team because he was injured in the previous set of matches that Argentina played, and then he had to travel back and forth the entire globe. So he's not playing a lot of minutes for PSG, and now he's going back to playing a couple of matches for the national team. For what I've read, I think he's not going to start in the match against Uruguay, but even if he starts, he's going to play like 50, 60-minute stops. I personally think that he's going to be deployed, if at all, during the late stages of the match, maybe get like 30 minutes of play in the end of the match. But the coach said he wants to start him in the match, in the upcoming match against Brazil. So things are pretty unclear about whether he starts or not, or if he plays at all. Now, Nick made some great comments about the stats. Argentina have been excellent. They have let's see now. They have 13 wins and 6 draws in their last 19 competitive matches. They've won 9 of their last 11. They kept 8 clean sheets in the process and have kept also 4 clean sheets in the last 4. They're unbeaten in 5 away matches so far in the qualifiers. However, they have kept just 2 clean sheets in their last 7 matches on the road, with both teams scoring in 4 of those matches. And whenever these two meet, I think it's Argentina that have the upper hand. They have lost just 1 of their last 11 matches against Uruguay. They have 8 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws. And only 4 of those 11 matches had over 2.5 goals, and only 4 had both teams to score. So whenever these two meet, we usually see very few goals, like 1 or 2 goals tops, with both teams not scoring usually. However, Uruguay have been very good as hosts against Argentina in World Cup qualifiers. They have lost just 1 of the last 6 World Cup qualifiers at home against Argentina. They have 2 wins, 1 loss, and 3 draws. And 5 of those matches had under 2.5 goals. And looking at the standings, they're sitting at the 5th spot right now. A loss here could potentially drop them outside the qualification spots. So a draw would be okay here. They would retain the 5th spot at least. Maybe if Colombia loses to Brazil, maybe they can jump to 4th. So all things considered, I'm looking at Uruguay plus a quarter goal here. Or you can alternatively take Uruguay or tie and under 2.5 goals at plus 100. Or for an extra safety, Uruguay or tie and under 3.5 goals at minus 145.
All right. Pavlos Laguretos of SportsMemo with his take on the Uruguay-Argentina one. And yeah, other than Brazil and Argentina that are in those top 2 spots and on their way to the World Cup, from that 3rd spot down to the 7th spot, it seems wide open. Ecuador, Colombia, Uruguay, Chile, and Bolivia. Although I think I would probably cut it off at Chile in the 6th spot. Those 4 teams battling for the last 3 spots. Guys, before we head to the 3rd game, which is the big game in Europe this week, I believe, a show promo, Cup 20. You can get 7 days from your 7-day soccer all-access package. That's a soccer all-access package. 7 days of it for only $49 when you use the coupon code CUP20. CUP20 will get you $20 off that $69 price. So you'll get 7 days at basically $7 a day. It's a great deal. That coupon will work at SportsMemo as well too for Pavlos Laguretos and here at WagerTalk for myself, Kevin Dolan, and Nick Borrman. So take advantage of that CUP20 at checkout for the 7-day soccer all-access package. All right, guys, we are going to look at the big game in Group C. I'm looking forward to this one, but I'm a little apprehensive, of course. I'm going to go first, and then I'll throw it to Kevin on this one. It's Italy and Switzerland. These 2 teams played the second last match day, finishing in a scoreless draw in Switzerland. A Jorginho missed penalty could have given Italy the win there and locked up this group, but while they sit atop this group, they are tied at 14 points, goal differential being the only thing. So a win from either team here will likely secure that top spot with only a game left after this Thursday's game. I look at this and it's been a fantastic season for or fantastic summer for the Azzurri, of course. 38 games unbeaten. That finally ended with a loss to Spain in the semifinals of the Nations League. But they did win the Euros this summer. No one expected them to. 12-1. They got it there. They got it done, beating England in penalty kicks. And now return to the World Cup. It happens with a win in this game. They are a short price favorite, about minus 150 in this game, but and 3/4 of a goal. Kev, I'm going to go to you. I'm going to make it simple here because I'm a little biased on this one. This team is playing fantastic right now. This game is at Stadio Olimpico in Rome. This is a game where they should have won in Switzerland. I just don't see them taking a step backwards here. They don't want to fall into that what happened in 2018, having to play that playoff 2-game tie against Sweden that knocked them out. They don't want to be in that same spot here. I have to believe that they're going to win this game at home. My bias is coming out here. Give me Italy in this one, minus the 156. line here, and I'll throw it to you next. Give me your thoughts.
Carmine, you make me laugh, man. Biggest game of the week. I mean, everybody knows Cristiano Ronaldo versus Big John Egan's, the matchup everybody wants to see. But yeah, Switzerland, Italy's not a bad game in fairness. But I think, in fairness, look, if we go back to the last game, I think there was a perception back at the start of September after, especially after Italy's Euro success, as you said, that, when these two teams drew in that reverse fixture, that Italy somehow slipped up. I remember watching that game. They were the big favourites heading in there. And that, look, Italy slipped up. They should have won. But this Swiss team are no joke. They're playing some really high-level quality football right now. And kind of showed the result against France in the Euros was no fluke either. The Swiss remain unbeaten in the group, same as Italy. They're level on points with Italy as well. They're right behind Italy in terms of offensive shots per game, shots on target per game. And defensively, they're even better. They've given up the same number of goals. They're allowing the fewest opponent shots per game as well. So I think this is a really tricky game for Italy. They'll have to be at their best to get a win here. And I wouldn't be at all surprised to see another draw here, in all honesty. The play I like in this one is Switzerland plus a quarter goal in the first half. All but one of Switzerland's goals this campaign have come in the first half of games. I believe they scored 10-9 have come in the first half. And by the same token, I don't want to risk the full game line here with Switzerland because we know Italy have strength and depth, and they could well end up scoring a late goal like they scored against Lithuania. They scored a late goal against Bulgaria. That might well pop up again here. And with Immobile potentially dropped as well ahead of this game, that might offer a little pick-me-up on this Italian offense, as he has been really poor. If we see like a Belotti start here or whoever else gets the nod, that could, give this Italian offense a little supercharge here. So, yeah, Switzerland plus a quarter goal. I think to keep this one tight. I think because of the amount of goals they've scored in the first half up to now as well, they are known as fast starters. So, if you're going to give me a plus a quarter goal in the first half line, that's going to be the play for me in this one.
Yeah, listen, and I get it. I expect this one to be a tight one. This is not one where I think it's going to be decided in the first half, and playing the under is likely the way to go here, because this is going to be one of those games that it likely 1-0 for one of the sides, or could finish in that scoreless draw again. This is a group that likely could be decided on the final match day, I think, which goes on Tuesday. So I completely get it. From the Italian news, and I watch a lot of it, I read a lot of it. There are so many people that are still confused about the whole Belotti thing and why he is in the lineup. He missed a lot of the start of the Serie A season with an injury. Immobile off form. It's the other players like Chiesa, that have fueled this team. So we'll see how it goes in this game here. But I'm hopeful of a win. I'll take a 1-0 win. I'm perfectly fine with that one. Guys, let's head to the fourth and final game. We're coming back to North America for this, and Nick Borrman and Pavlos are going to handle this one. USA and Mexico in a big CONCACAF match here on match day 7. Let's have a look at the price here for this one. USA plus 235 at home. The draw plus 195 under that plus 200 marker there. And Mexico plus 145 in this one. Mexico top of the group with 14 points, followed by the USA, who a lot of people think are underperforming. We'll see what the boys have to say. And then that third spot belonging to Canada. Nick, I'm going to go to you first on this one. This is a big one, and the USA did beat Mexico in the Nations League. So can they duplicate that win here?
Yeah, Carmen, you have your bias on Italy. I probably have my bias on USA, but I think it's justified. I mean, this team is on paper now, for the first time, at least in my opinion, that I can remember. I think they have the better roster than El Tri does for Mexico. I mean, you look at who's on that roster and who makes it up. I mean, you have some great young talent on some of the biggest clubs in Europe all over this roster. And, for Mexico, they don't have that. Most of their stars are playing right there in Liga MX or in the MLS. They're aging. I think in their last match, they had 6 players aged over 30 out of their starting 11, while you look at the average age of the U.S. roster for who's coming on this break is under 24. So I think the sky right now is the limit for this team. Ricardo Pepi, 18 years old. He's got 3 goals so far during this qualifying campaign. Pulisic is back playing. He was missed the last break, but he'll be back for this one. There's just a lot of talent on this team, and it'll take some time for them to really, I don't know, become what they could become, but they've started to show it already. I mean, you mentioned it already, Carm. They beat Mexico twice actually this summer. They won the Nations League over Mexico, and they won the Gold Cup over Mexico, both in extra time, 1-0 wins. And, I think the tide is turning, if it hasn't already, in the CONCACAF, that maybe Mexico's reign as the best team is over. And, right now at home, we got USA at home. They're underdogs. They're plus. You can get a plus a quarter of a goal for minus 125, or you can take a three-way line, money line play on them. I think it's like plus 230, plus 240 at this point, which I think is great. I mean, they haven't lost. Team USA hasn't lost at home since 2019, a Gold Cup game against none other than Mexico, but they have gotten their revenge over Mexico since then. And, I think this is going to be a very tight game. They're obviously it's not like Mexico's bad by any means. They're still a very good team, but USA can go toe-to-toe with them and even pull out a win. But I don't see, Mexico just running away with anything. So I'm just kind of simple in this play as far as taking plus goals at home with USA. And they're going to have all the fans, of course. The excitement in the stadium is going to be, pretty electric, and they're going to have a lot of support there. So I think it's going to carry them to at least a draw, if not a win. So I think it's safe to take plus a quarter of a goal and even throw a little money on USA to win with the money line as well.
Yeah, Nick Borrman of WagerTalk.com. Nick, I get it. You look at it and you throw away a couple of the friendlies that the teams play because you never know what the lineups are going to be for those. But 3 of the last 4 games between these two in any competition have gone to extra time, and 4 of the last 6. So we see that draw at plus 195, and I can understand why it's there. I think this is going to be a close one, and maybe taking, as you said, a quarter goal or a half goal with the U.S. at home isn't a bad way to go. I saw the lineup, and Pavlos, I'm going to go to you next, but I saw the not the lineup, but the roster of players picked by the U.S. men's national team for these couple games coming up, and all I could think to myself was, there's a wealth of talent on that team. Let's just hope that Berhalter doesn't screw this one up for them over the course of these next 2 games. Only guy really missing that I'd love to see there is Gio Reyna, but he's dealing with a hamstring injury, so I get why he's not fully fit and available. Pavlos, USA or Mexico? Where are you going here?
I'd love to go Mexico. But I think this is a match where USA can, one way or the other, at least avoid the loss. Of course, we have to say that Mexico are unbeaten in the last 6 matches against USA. They have 2 wins and 4 draws. However, the last 2 draws were this summer in the Gold Cup and in the Nations League, where both finals they ended in draws. So, but USA went on to win both those matches. This was just statistical, of how Mexico has done against USA in recent matches. But the thing is that I personally can't, confidently make a bet on USA because and it's not even their fault. I mean, this qualifying stage was supposed to take 12 months, 16 months, something like that. And, with the coronavirus and all that stuff that's happening, they are forced to play these matches in a span of 7 months. So we saw that twice before, where in the international breaks, the 2 teams, any team in the CONCACAF had to play 3 matches in like 7 days, I think. And this is a very weird situation for any coach because they have to rotate their players. So if you look at the lineups that USA had in the World Cup qualifiers, they're all different than one another. I think only 2 players, Aronson and Adams, have played in all 6 matches, have started in all 6 matches. And yeah, USA, they have a great team. I've said it, I've called it from now. I think I called it a couple of months ago that USA are gonna win the World Cup, just not the next one, the one after that, because they have a great talent. In the match against Costa Rica, they fielded the youngest ever squad they have ever fielded with, I think it was, let me get the numbers here, what was it? 22 years and 61 days old. That's an average. That's the lowest average they've ever had in a competitive match. And right now, the squad that they have right now, as Nick mentioned, was under 24 years of age, and it was actually 23 years and 363 days. So yeah, they have 16 players under 24 years of age. They have a lot of talent, especially under 20. I think there's a lot to see from this match. And as far as this match goes, I am picking the USA or tie and under 3.5 total goals. Maybe you can push that down to under 2.5 and get a better price. We have to say that Mexico are a good side, even though they're, they have a more aged side, but with age come experience. They have a couple of, good players like Raul Jimenez from Wolves. They have Lozano from Napoli, Guardado from Betis, Araujo from Celta, Corona from Porto, and Herrera from Atletico Madrid, which are very, they're over 30, but very good players. And you have to have, experience in these qualifiers, but even more so in the actual World Cup. So I think this is not an easy match for either side. The draw is surely something to look at plus 400. It's a very juicy number, but I think that this is a match where USA have a better chance of avoiding the defeat. So that's why I'm picking USA or tie and under 3.5 goals at minus 140. It's not a great price, but as I said, you can get that with under 2.5 goals, and it goes at minus 120. Something like that. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right, Pavlos Laguretos with his take on the USA-Mexico game as they look to qualify for the World Cup. I've got the World Cup trophy right on my desk here. It's a little paperweight that I use, but I absolutely love it. Guys, just a reminder before we get into our show best bets, it is $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo, where you can get a featured cappers play for only $2. Plays that normally sell for $25 and $35. Over at WagerTalk, Ralph Michaels. College basketball kicks off, and Ralph Michaels has a college basketball best bet opener. You can get that for only $2. And at Sportsmemo, John Ryan, also with a college basketball opening night play available for $2. In the analysis section of those plays are some great promos that you can take advantage of. So head over to wagertalk.com and Sportsmemo and pick up those plays. All right, guys, best bet segment. I missed it last week on the show. I'm not going to miss it this week. I'm going to go to Kevin Dolan first with a best bet in World Cup qualifying. Kev, where are we going?
I'm going to go to the game between Sweden and Georgia, Carmine, and I'm going to take Sweden on the minus one goal handicap here on Thursday. I think a lot of people are looking through the lens in this game of, well, if Sweden could only beat this Georgia team 1-0 at home, surely there's a bit of value fading them here on the road, laying a big number. But, the situation has changed there drastically since that first meeting between these pair back in March. There's not that first game pep. There wasn't a step for Georgia in their first game. Heads have dropped since. They're a full 9 points off the pace for second place, obviously, way back in the table. Their home form has been absolutely brutal this campaign. Rock bottom of the group, 0 points from 3 games. Even Kosovo came here and knocked this team off. So, with the pressure on Sweden to get a good result here to maintain first place, I do think they get the win here on Thursday. And I do think it comes by margin. So Sweden for me on the minus one goal handicap here against Georgia. Best bet.
All right. Good luck with that play, Kevin Dolan. Nick Borrman, give us a winner.
I got Russia going to take care of business against Cyprus. Clear mismatch in talent here. Russia are, atop the group, 6-1-1 record, 13-5 goal differential. Cyprus can't even beat Malta. If you look at the results of their games, this is actually the third time they've played Cyprus over the last couple of years, as they were paired with Cyprus in the Euro qualifying group back in 2019, and they've won all 3 games 2-0. And that's the way I'm going to take this one, is Russia to win to 0. It's a little high at minus 175, but Cyprus, they were blanked by Malta, blanked by Slovakia, blanked by Russia, Croatia. In 8 games they've played in this group, they scored a total of 3 goals. So I don't see a lot of chances coming Cyprus way, and Russia should have no problem taking care of business at home. So Russia to win to 0 over Cyprus.
Russia to win at 0 over Cyprus. Thank you for that play, Nick Borrman. Pavlos, give us a winner in World Cup qualifying.
I'm taking the Austria versus Israel match from Group F. I'm gonna pick both teams to score here at minus 135. Austria are sitting at the 4th spot with 10 points. Israel are sitting at the 3rd spot with 13 points. Denmark have already qualified with 24 points, and Scotland are sitting at the 2nd spot with 17 points. So this match goes live on Friday, and Scotland are playing against Moldova in the early match. So there is a good chance that neither Israel nor Austria are gonna be looking for points when the time of their match arrives. If Scotland had won, then there's no beating Scotland for the 2nd spot. So I expect an open match between the two sides. Austria have a very bad defense. They have kept just 3 clean sheets in their last 14 matches against the Faroe Islands, Moldova, and Ukraine. While Israel, they also have a very bad defense. They have kept just 4 clean sheets in their last 26 and just 1 in the last 10. And the reverse match between the two sides was a 5-2 thrashing of Israel. They beat Austria by 5-2 at home. And now 8 of the last 9 matches between the two sides had both teams to score. So especially if Scotland beat Moldova, I expect a high-scoring match between the two sides here. My initial pick is both teams to score at minus 135, but if Scotland had beaten Moldova in the early match, I'm also going to get the both teams score and over 2.5 goals at plus 105.
All right, that's Pavlos Laguretos with what should be a winner in World Cup qualifying. I'll be playing that one. Myself, I'm going to go back to a game we discussed earlier. This is the Group C matchup, Italy and Switzerland. After winning the Euros, Italy had a bit of that hangover in their next 2 World Cup qualifying games, a 1-1 draw at home against Bulgaria, and then a scoreless draw at Switzerland. But this game is being played at the Stadio Olimpico. This is not being played in Switzerland. This is at the Stadio Olimpico. These teams met at the Stadio Olimpico during the Euros, and Italy handed this Switzerland team a 3-0 loss. I'm going to look for Italy to win again at home, whether it's by a goal, whether it's by 2. They should win this game. Italy, the goal line handicap here is minus 0.75, which is a split line of a minus a half, -1. I'm going to play Italy to win here this game. That'll be my show best bet. Italy minus 0.75 here on the goal line. Guys, closing it off. Thanks for tuning in. Remember the show promo. Use the coupon code CUP20 and you can get $20 off a 7-day all-access soccer package. That's the soccer all-access package with coupon code CUP20. That'll work for Kevin, Nick, myself, and Pavlos. You'll get that 7 days of soccer for only $49. That's that's $7 a day. That's a great deal. We'll be back next Tuesday to discuss some domestic league as the international break will end, and we'll talk about some upcoming games in the EPL. There are a ton of big games next weekend, and we'll look forward to those ones the following weekend I'm talking about. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, and as always, guys, good luck with your wagers.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.